Hey, this is Hollywood Mix with Shambi, the podcast. You're going to be listening to our Let's Talk About It series, and I am your girl, Shambi. Again, today's episode is not about one person. Basically, what we're going to be doing today is doing quick recaps and updates of cases I have covered previous to this video. This is just what I could or could not find online. And I just wanted to kind of touch base with you guys on this because I know a lot of people like to be updated or like to have a recap. And it will also hopefully have you go look at the full videos about the certain case dealing with their person. Alright, so today's episode, updates and or recaps, is going to be on 8 criminal cases currently in the public record. We're going to be covering court rulings, sentencing updates, and ongoing investigations. Keep in mind, all the information that I discussed with you today has been confirmed through law enforcement releases, court documents, or verified public reporting. Like I always tell you, everything I report to you guys is public knowledge. It has been stated by either family and friends, law enforcement, doctors, such, and I am no type of law enforcement or medical professional at all, just simply an independent podcaster. Alright, so we're going to start with Shanquella Robinson. If you don't know who she is or you want a quick recap, she's the young lady who went from North Carolina to Mexico with, I believe, 6 of her friends. And she never made it back home. It was reported different things, They tried to say she was really sick from alcohol poisoning. Then they say that she passed away from the alcohol poisoning. Come to find out, she was severely beaten and assaulted by one of her so-called friends, who is also known as the Cabo Six. And she passed away from, I believe, something to do with a broken neck and her spine. It was internal injuries, blunt force trauma, and such as. And the only update, that I could really find was a wrongful death lawsuit proceeding. That on June 1st, 2026, the Mecklenburg County Superior Court Judge, Matt Osman, he denied the defendant, Imani Green, who's formerly known as Deja, her motion to dismiss the wrongful death lawsuit filed by Salamandra Robinson, who is the mother of the deceased Shanquella Robinson. The lawsuit filed in 2024, it alleges assault, battery, wrongful death, negligence, civil conspiracy, and emotional distress related to Ms. Shanquella Robinson's death that happened in Mexico, October of 2022. Green tried to argue that she was not properly served and that filing deadlines had passed. The court found that the plaintiff, they made good faith efforts. They tried their best to do it, I guess, exactly how Imani was saying that it was not done. And they had proof of that. They had receipts, as we like to say, to locate Green, despite her name changes, because she did change the name, and her interstate travel. The service was completed or deemed to be complete on May 7th, 2025, and she was at a Jamestown, North Carolina address that she later acknowledged in federal filings. The status as of right now, as of yesterday, as I completed my research for this recap, which was July 11th, 2026. Today's July 12th, 2026. But the ruling resolves a procedural issue only. It does not address the merits, the findings, the allegations of the actual crime itself. And the case proceeds to discovery or trial. The federal claims against the U.S. State Department and FBI were previously dismissed. See, that was something I didn't know, that there was claims against them. You know, I did not find that in my former research of this case. You know, my original research. Like I said, I don't know everything. I just go by what I read. And yeah, so that's basically where we're at right now. There has been no arrests for her death, which I believe is completely fucked up, because the evidence is definitely in the video that she was assaulted. There was autopsies. I think this case was definitely handled wrong as hell, especially when there's plain sight evidence. I don't understand how they can't go off that. Like, you got it right there. And there's been no arrests. It's just not right. Again, as I said before, love, thought, hugs, prayers, condolences, deepest condolences go out to India Shankwela's family and friends. Real friends, that is, because the Cabo 6 was definitely not that. Definitely not it, considering her so-called best friend, and one of her best friends, I believe his name was Khalil. He didn't tell the truth here, so I don't know who the fuck he thought he was. I do believe they all should be charged, though. Definitely. Alright, give me a second. But if I do hear of any more news, you know, of course, I will update again. So we're going to move on to Miss Sonia Massey. If you don't know who Sonia Massey is, she is the young lady who had, I forget where she was, I believe it was Illinois. Anyway, she had some, you know, mental disabilities, to where she thought she saw people or heard people. She tried to put her faith in the police force, and it ended up costing her life. She called for help. She got a real dickhead, actually not even a dickhead, that makes him sound like a saint. She got a piece of his shit to come there, who ended up taking her life for nothing. I do give it to his partner, because his partner definitely told the truth. And yeah, so the only things I could find on her was, it says a medical release application was filed. Sean Grayson, who is the piece of shit that shot Ms. Massey, he was only sentenced to 20 fucking years. 20 years. And again, this is a case who had it all on camera. It was body cam footage from his partner. So they clearly saw what the fuck happened, and he only got 20 years. No, I think he should spend the rest of his life in prison. And I still stand by what I said in my original video on Miss Massey. He should be put in general population with everybody. But you know, if they do, he's not going to make it. Because they don't play that shit. But these cases I've done, especially when there's video that clearly states what has happened, they really piss me the fuck off, because I don't understand the outcome at the end. I don't see what research there is that you need to do when you have a fucking video that shows you what happened. You have medical records that state Sonia has mental illnesses. You have her mother who tells you that. This lady had kids. Like, she wasn't doing nothing wrong. Yeah, even if it was something that wasn't real, it's something she thought was real. So she called the people she thought could help her. And they didn't. But yeah, it says Sean Grayson, the former Sangamon County Sheriff's deputy convicted of second-degree murder in the July 6, 2024 death of Sonia Massey has applied for medical release under Illinois' Joe Coleman Act. He was sentenced to 20 years in January of 2026. Right here, the body camera footage showed Grayson shot Massey, 36, in her home. Again, like I just said, after she called 911 for a possible prowler. The shooting occurred after Massey lifted a pot of boiling water and stated, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." Was nowhere near him. You could see. Yeah, okay, boiling hot water. It might fuck you up. It might leave scars. But you took somebody's life and she didn't even swing it at you. She was nowhere near you. And this lady was so small. So small. And this dude was huge, especially compared to her. Grayson's attorney cites stage 4 colon cancer, diagnosed in 2023, as the basis for the release, because he filed for medical release to be let out. The condition was disclosed at sentencing. He appeared visibly diminished at trial. The process: Illinois' Prisoner Review Board must rule within 90 days of receiving the application. The board considers medical evidence, cost of incarceration, public safety, and victim impact statements. Massey's family and attorney Ben Crump, who is also, I believe, a civil rights leader or advocate, have asked the board to deny their request. The hearing is set for July 31st, 2026. So we will know if Grayson's going to be released because he has colon cancer. Now, that subject is a little bit... First and foremost, let me say this. I don't think he needs to be released at all. Put him in the infirmary. Put him in a medical pod. I don't wish cancer on nobody. My dad died from cancer. My papa died from cancer. My aunt died from cancer. My uncle died from cancer. My brother died from cancer. Cancer has been a huge thorn up my ass in my life. Cancer is a fucking monster. But I believe, and it might be fucked up to say it, God forgive me, I believe this is his karma. Therefore, I do not think he needs to be released. He can get help in there. They can do something in there. He does not need to be released. Did Sonia Massey get to stay alive with her mental illnesses and get help? Why should Grayson be able to come out and get help? No. Okay, give him help in prison. Of course, I'm going to always pray for a cure for cancer, which I'm sure most of us will, but I do not think that that's the reason for him to be released at all. So, matter of fact, let me write this down on a sticky note so I can, hold on you guys, I should have did this before I got up here. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, you guys, I'm back. Yeah, so the city of Springfield previously reached a $10 million settlement with Massey's family. U.S. Justice Department agreement now mandates additional de-escalation training for the county. They should have had that to begin with. Am I wrong? Do you agree? They should have been trained for these things to begin with. So that's basically where we're at for as far as hold on 1 minute, guys. Okay, you guys, I'm back. I completely apologize for that interruption, but I had an important call to take. So yeah, where was I? The $10 million settlement, Massey's family, they got the U.S. Department agreement now mandates an additional de-escalation training for the county, and I believe they should have been trained better than they were anyway, because she would definitely still be here if they were. Or they need to do more in-depth background checks for these people they hire, because he should have never been hired onto that department anyway. If you go back and listen to the actual story or the video that I did, I actually did one with Shanquella Robinson and Sonia Massey together. So if you go back in my videos, you'll see it. And listen to the different things that he was, or that he did, and you will see why I say he should have never been hired to begin with. So let's move on to the next one. The next one is definitely another heartbreaker. This is about a child, Athena Strand. If you don't know who Athena Strand is, she's the little girl who was kidnapped, tortured, and murdered by a FedEx driver. I believe his name was Tanner Horner. Yeah, Tanner Horner. And this is, the death sentence was imposed. He pled guilty to the capital murder of 7-year-old Athena Strand, and he was sentenced to death by lethal injection. He is incarcerated in the Polinsky unit in Livingston, Texas, pending automatic appeal, so I guess they're trying to appeal it, which hopefully it won't get approved, because the things he did to that little girl, again, if you want to go back and watch the video on her, it gets more into details. So yeah. Tarrant County District Attorney Phil Sorrells confirmed jurors were offered counseling after the verdict. Now that's bad. If you have to offer your jurors counseling, then yeah. Due to the guilty plea, jurors heard graphic evidence throughout the punishment phase without deliberation. Judge George Gallagher stated, "It is therefore the order of this court that your punishment be death." And I usually say, I never wish death on no one. But in a case like this, I definitely agree with the verdict. But it contradicts myself, because I kind of feel like he's another one that needs to be put in general population in a prison. If you get what I mean. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Our next one is really, really new. Really, really fresh case. Miss Tonea Miller death investigation in Miami. Tonea was 27, and she was found deceased in Miami in a public park on June 18, 2026. On the 24th, the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office and County Medical Examiner stated that the circumstances were consistent with suicide and found no evidence of foul play. I had all kinds of questions about her. You know, not her herself, but like different things that they could have done to investigate the case. You can go look at the video for Tonea, and you'll see what else I had to say about it. But she was, it says, the sheriff's office has not stated that she was found hanging from a tree. That is the main thing of Miss Tonea's death. She was found hanging from a tree in a public park in Miami on the 18th June this year. Her sister, Terry Miller, said that she rejected the suicide determination and the claims that her sister traveled to Miami for Juneteenth, or that race was a motive. She wasn't there for Juneteenth because she had been there since February. So how could she have traveled there just for Juneteenth? All right, there's so many, different questions and things such as. So yeah, that's where it was status. The official finding remains suicide. Allegations of lynching are unproven. Actually, to me, in my opinion, allegations of suicide's unproven. No independent autopsy results have been released. This shit's crazy. The next one I have is definitely new, and this is of 4-year-old Javea Harris. Partial remains have identified as Javea's. Aiken County Sheriff Marty Sawyer confirmed that partial human remains recovered from a Cedar Creek reservoir were DNA matched to a 4-year-old of Javea Harris. According to the sheriff, the extensive efforts were made to conceal evidence following her death, including the use of corrosive chemicals and other tools. So in other words, they put chemicals on that baby to try to, I guess, disintegrate. What's the word I'm looking for? Y'all should know. Her body parts to try to hide it. Full recovery of remains is considered unlikely. That's fucking sick. Like, sick. Things like this, I think her killers need to suffer the same thing. Charges Michelle Herring, which is her mother, biological mother, the woman that gave birth to her. I'm not even going to call her a mom, a mommy, or a mother, because true mothers wouldn't do shit like that. But she's charged with homicide by child abuse and filing a false report, because if you recall, she called and reported Javea missing, but Javea had already been dead for a month and a half when she called. And John Maria, or John, I don't know how to say his name, Harris, 23, which is her dad, is charged with homicide by child abuse. Investigators said that the child was likely deceased for over a month and a half before being reported missing on June 30th, which is what I was just saying. So where we are right now is the case is still going. It's still more investigating going. The court proceedings are still going. Her killers are incarcerated. We want to, pray for justice for this little girl. And it's sad. I don't understand how anybody could harm a child. Anybody. But go ahead and have a look at the video that I did on her too. Alright, this next one, the Hamden 16, Ohio child endangerment cases. This was about a mom, a dad, a son, and a daughter-in-law, and they supposedly had 16 children from ages 18 months to 18 years, I believe, and they were all kept in a 12 by 12 room together for 4 years. 4 years. No schooling, no nothing. Some of them couldn't read, some of them couldn't write. I don't know about talking or anything like that. But the 4 defendants, Gary Siders Sr., 73, Gary Siders Jr., 36, Christina Siders, 67, and Elizabeth Siders, 33, are each being held on $300,000 cash bond. Each pled not guilty to 16 counts of felony child endangerment. They're saying that Elizabeth had all 16 of them children. It's suspected that there's incest going on in there somewhere, possibly, allegedly, or possibly that Christina may have birthed some of the kids. Elizabeth's saying she did it, or she, had all of the kids. Her and Gary Jr., I think, got married when she was 15. So I believe she was groomed. Some people were like, they're not wanting to blame her. No, she had every chance to, do something about it. I don't know the circumstances. I don't know if she was scared or anything like that. But 16 kids, there had to be some kind of opportunity to do something. On June 30th, 2026, the Vinton County Sheriff's Office and Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation located 16 children ages 18 months to 18 years inside a Hamden residence. Investigators described conditions as squalid. Alright, for those of you who do not know, Alexa, Volume 5. Alexa, what does the word squalid mean?
The adjective squalid is usually defined as foul and repulsive, as from lack of care or cleanliness, neglected and filthy. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for squalid.
That's okay, Alexa. Thank you. So there you have it. Where is that? Children were reportedly confined to a 12 by 12 foot room, 2 airlifted to a level 1 trauma center. Officials noted severe development delays. One 18-year-old could not write her name. All children are in temporary state protective custody. Authorities have ruled out human trafficking and classified the case as severe, prolonged, and interfamilial abuse. Additional charges are expected. So there we have it. There is a video I've done on them as well. Next, Caroline Raquel Pena, also known as Caro. This is a Del Rio homicide. Kitty Mia Diaz, 21, Amaya Cookie Diaz, 19, and Keandra Renee Foz, 21, are charged with murder in the June 25th stabbing death of Caroline Pena, 32, in Del Rio, Texas. Caroline Pena is the mother of 5 children. It was said that she went to Keandra's home to start a fight. There was a reason she went there, but she did not lay hands on nobody, and she was jumped by the Diaz sisters. According to Del Rio police, an altercation on East 10th Street moved into a neighboring yard where Pena sustained multiple stab wounds. She died after transport to San Antonio. The motive has not been released. The defendants were arrested the same day. There's videos of them smiling, well, at least one of them smiling, and like it didn't even matter to them. No remorse at all. So hopefully there's justice done for Carol too. The last one I have is not a year old yet, but it's the older one that I've done. And this is about missing 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, who is the mother of Today Morning Show host Savannah Guthrie. And it's an active kidnapping investigation, so it's still ongoing because Nancy has been missing since, I believe, February. And they have not found her yet. So it says Nancy Guthrie, 84, has been missing from her Tucson, Arizona home since February 1st. FBI continues to investigate the case as a kidnapping for ransom. Multiple ransom notes have been received. Several were identified as hoaxes. Derek Anthony Calella of California pled guilty to sending false ransom messages. Local authorities have detained an individual for questioning. No further details have been released. The family has issued public pleas for her safe return. So the case remains active in the courts under investigation, and we'll update the series as official information becomes available. If you are in crisis or in need of support, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is available 24 hours a day. I don't want all the cases. There's been a couple cases I talked about that had to do with corrupt police. And even though them officers themselves are definitely guilty and definitely deserve to do time or more, I do, however, want to say I used to be one of the people that thought all police were bad until the Norfolk PD saved my life, Norfolk, Virginia. I went through a really bad domestic violence situation, and I actually talk about it in one of my stories. It's going to be in the Speak About It series. and I believe it's Speak About It, episode 3. You'll see my name up there. So you can have a listen to that. That'll tell you about my domestic violence incident. And ever since that happened to me, I actually gained more respect for the police, and I do realize that not all of them are corrupt. But you got to think about it. Every profession, there are corrupt ones, but there's also, for all the corrupt ones, there's good ones as well. The good ones, first responders, period, police, medics, emergency room, all of that, they put their life on the line every day too. So I myself don't want to come down on an entire profession because of the fucked up ones that there are. So hopefully there's some people out there that get what I'm saying and possibly agree with it. But all of the cases I've recapped and updated today, you can go look at their full videos previous to this, and if I get any more news on these, I'll definitely do another update. I'm going to try to do updates at least with every few videos or episodes I do on these. And so yeah, that's about it. I apologize for the interruptions I've had during this episode. And it's been fun. It's been real. And yeah. So with that being said, it's a wrap for Hollywood Mix with Shan B. Let's talk about a series, the recaps and or updates. And before I go, just know, stay safe out there. And until the next time, love you all. Bye.